DoubleKBeats, Double K Productions. I am back with you in Presona Studio 1-4. Back with another tutorial. This tutorial, yes, I know I done made plenty of them on just EQing, but I'm still getting a lot of people not understanding the part of EQing. So I'm going to keep this tutorial as simple as possible. It looks complicated because I just want to show y'all how it looks with a whole mix, how to EQ with a whole mix, you know what I mean? This song's called Southside's off the album. It's in major stores. The link will be in the description below. You can go check this full song out by yours truly. My brother produced the beat, and he did helpful by giving it to me. If you're new to the channel, you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post something. Let's get into it. How did I EQ this hook? Matter of fact, let's just do with the rap verse. I always normally do the hook, but we're gonna do the rap verse since it's a one consistent flow, and you can see how I do it. I got 3 EQs on here that I'm gonna show y'all, and let's keep it simple. If you do not have Fab Filter Pro Q2, I have 3. I just didn't have it at the time I was using, so I used 2. Use any EQ. You can use a stock. You can use this one, the by waves. Any EQ will work. Any EQ. If it ain't just the if it don't, I don't really know what if it ain't this, and you have an EQ that looks like this, but this EQ will work. They all do the same thing, just all sounds a little different. You know what I mean? It's just like when you're saying something that means the same, but just say it in a different way or some shit like that. Let's get into it. Alright, EQing. Let's solo on my. This is called Southside, so I'm talking about Southside, Louisiana. EQing, what I like to do is subtract EQ first. I'm going to subtract. I'm going to add a little bit and add a little bit more. Now I'm going to get to my compressor. But right now it's just EQing. So what I like to do, I do different. I mix a little different from when I mixed this track. I add a vocal rider now. I add a C4 now. And I keep it like that. Yeah. So it's a little different. No, I had a whole bunch. I add a C4, I add a vocal rider, and I add another EQ right after this one. So I just tracked, and let's I'm outside. Yeah. Let's just work on the EQ. So we gonna take all these out. And you see this is an EQ2 right here. So I'll get into that one too. Since we talking about just EQing, okay? We'll leave all that. We'll take this out just so y'all can hear how it sounds with one EQ. I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down for Kool-Aid. Drink it up. Bottom of the boot, where we like to get paid. All work, even. Alright, what I'm normally looking for when I'm subtracting EQ is the bad frequency. And if y'all don't know that by now, that's what you're looking for when you subtracting. And a great engineer said subtracting, that's all they normally do is subtract. But I like to add But subtracting normally is, you gotta look at it like this. If you're taking away bad frequencies, what's left? You know what I mean? You got good frequencies. So if you take out the bad, all you got left is good. So that's why I believe in subtracting EQing. You know what I mean? So already you're gonna get a plug-in looking like this. I'm outside. I'm gonna tell you, it's always best. I can tell you to always add a low cut. You know what I mean? Normally, I don't supposed to tell you do what you want to do, but on vocals, add a low cut because this range is normally for the bass and the kicks and all that low end. Go ahead and take that out your vocals because we can't even hear it anyway. You know Okay. What I'm looking for, I'm just adding it up. Let me put that back on 12. 30 real quick. Bring it down. Put it back on 12. I like it on 12. But what I'm normally looking for, y'all hear it all the time. Just bring your bands up, man. If you're working with bands, just bring them up, and I'll show you with the other plugins. All I do is just
I'm outside.
I narrow, and I'm doing this with the cursor on my mouse, but you can see I can do it like.
I'm outside, yeah, sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a Kool-Aid, chill back, enjoy the day, Louisiana.
And I'm gonna solo it out. I might just hit this button right here.
Oh yeah.
By the good ear, you already know what's gonna be bad because I record myself and all that. I know my mic and all that other good stuff. When we're recording somebody else, you wanna just sweep until you hear the nastiness.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And let's just stop real quick. Do that even sound good to you? You know what I mean? You gotta ask yourself that.
Okay.
You can, when you sweeping, you can kind of hear like, oh, okay, I can hear myself clearly over here compared to hearing yourself clearly. It just sound like nasal, sounds just bad. So the simple way to do it is just turn it up. And there's no wrong way to how much you want to crank this thing up to hear it. You can narrow it out. You can make it this wide.
I'm outside, yeah.
You get a better feel unless you, you know what I mean? Make it as small as possible.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a Kool-Aid, chill.
It just don't sound right to me. It sounds nasal, sounds wishy-washy. I'm going to just go ahead and subtract that out of there. All I'm doing is with my mouse, but you can do it right here. Subtract it on out of there. Make it as narrow as possible. Yeah. I like, when I get right here, I like to make it real narrow. Because I like to hear the wheel.
Okay.
Talking about just
Oh yeah. Okay.
like to make it narrow. And then boom. All I'm going to do is bring this down. Not too major. You want to know how much dB to take it out? Because you might ask me that. Take it out to what's best for you. Now, I don't recommend taking out this much, okay? Let's keep it reasonable. You still want some of that sound in there. This is still your vocals hitting. You know what I mean? You don't want to take out too much. Keep it reasonable. Why the negative dB, 12, it don't matter. Just a dB. So if it's at negative 4 dB, that 20 behind it should be okay. You know what I mean? If you're doing a negative 1, you ain't got to be precise. That negative 0.8, it'll be just fine. You know what I mean? Just make sure you can hear yourself clearly, taking out the bad frequencies. Okay? I'm going to add another one. All I'm doing is subtracting. I'm going to just keep adding until I think everything sounds good.
Oh yeah. Okay. Drink it up. Where we like to get inside.
That out. Boom. What I think is good. I'm gonna just
I'm outside. Yeah. Sipping lim. Drink it up.
I get all tedious with it. Even though as soon as I hear something like that, I'm just already taking it out, okay?
I'm outside. Yeah. Sipping lemonade. Drink it up. Come on, chill. Oh yeah. Pop, gold slugs, long dreads, hollering, we don't care. Put the S in the air, turn down.
I'm gonna do it one more time. Just keep sweeping. I'm gonna go all the way to the left and all the way to the right.
Oh yeah. Okay. Drink it up.
I like that sound, but I already got work.
Come on, chill. Oh yeah.
Can't even hear nothing right here. See what I mean?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Can't hear nothing right there. So that's good on that end. Let's hit that low cut and make sure that's right. All this sounds good, pleasant.
Lemonade in the shade down south.
That's my subtractive VQ. That's what I don't like. I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna harp on it. I'll square this up a little bit, take out a little bit more, leave that right there, and boom, subtract.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade.
Just bypassing the tone it on.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a Kool-Aid, chill back, enjoy the day. Louisiana at the bottom of the boot where we like to get paid. All work even through the hottest day. Come and take a trip down south.
Okay, subtract it, boom. Leave it like that, okay? Nothing too major. Don't wrap your head around it. Just sweep. And one more thing before I go. After I do that last one, uh, I just listen to the whole entire thing. Instead of sweeping, I'm just listening because I might just don't like something. It might be something over here that I didn't sweep. I don't like, so I just play.
I'm outside, yeah, sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a Kool-Aid, chill back, enjoy the day. Louisiana at the bottom.
Still hearing some muddiness in this area right here, so all I do is bring it over a little bit, take that out, put this open that a little bit.
I'm outside, yeah, sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a Kool-Aid, chill back, enjoy the day. Louisiana at the bottom of the boot where we like to get paid. All work, even.
I'm getting it clean. See, that's what I do when I'm EQing. I'm already sweeping, like I told y'all, and then you listen to the final thing. This is just EQing before you get to anything else. Listen to the final thing, what you subtracted, and just keep listening to the whole verse, hook, whatever. Listen. If it sounds clear, sounds like you took everything out, leave it alone. Don't touch it. And then come to the next one, you know what I mean? And I use this API. It is so gold. 560 equalizer. Only reason why I use this, let me turn it on so you can hear. I'm going to bypass it and I'm going to turn it on before I show you exactly what I did with it. Okay?
I'm outside, yeah, sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a Kool-Aid, chill back, enjoy the day. Louisiana at the bottom of the boot where we like to get paid. All work even through the hottest day. Come and take a trip down south, come and see what we all about. Gold slugs, long dreads, hollering we don't care. Put the S in the air, turn down for what? Yeah, we all up in here.
Alright, you heard it. That's gold. That's another equalizer. I use this on every mix that I do, from my mixes most certainly, and then everybody else, all my clients that I mix, I put this on their vocals, no matter what. Putting this on their vocals, because you just heard what it did. Okay, so what I like to do when I'm using this plugin, I crank this all the way up. Okay, is that I added 1.5 dB, but I crank it up.
I'm outside.
Okay? I'm adding level. I'm adding that volume into it. I'm already taking out this low end. It's not good for me. Alright? And I ain't gonna mess with it because it's already tweaked. I'd have to put it all back on 0 and then figure it out for you. But I will show you exactly what I've done. I'm taking out the low end. I'm coming in. I'm taking out 0.6 dB in the 125 range, 250 range. I'm adding 0.3 dB. Okay, I don't want to take out too much of my bassiness of my voice. Okay, I don't want to sound too thin. I'm a deep voice guy, and I can't sound too thin, so I don't take out too much. Okay, 5K. I'm adding some of that 500. I know you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. When I first EQ, I'm dipping out. You know what I'm saying? I'm dipping out around this range, right? Okay, cool, right? I dipped out. That's fine. I'm subtracting. Now I'm adding just a little bit. 0.1. I do not want to take out all the bass of my voice. That is the nastiness inside my vocals. Don't get me wrong. But adding a little bit more back into it after you subtract is not going to hurt anything, okay? And that's just where my bass sits. So I'm just putting a little bit. 1 dB, close to 2, okay? 1K sounds good to me. I want to add that in now. 1K, it starts to get good. Okay, let's it's at 2.9. Let's crank.
I'm outside, yeah, sipping lemonade in the shade down south.
Compared to taking it out, compared to putting it in.
I'm outside, yeah, sipping lemonade in the shade down.
Feel the nastiness of your vocals. You don't want to put too much. That's why I had 2 dB. 2.9 I had, or 3, something like that. 9, let's see. I don't know where I had it. Maybe 3. It don't matter. The mix is done already. 2.3. Put a little bit, because you heard it's still that nastiness in your vocals. But it's still going to add clarity. You know what I'm saying? Still going to add that clarity you want. You heard it before I turned it in and on and off before I started showing y'all what's going on, okay? 2K. We're getting to the 2K. Now it's starting to get to the good part of the vocals, okay? You see 4 dB, 4.5 dB. 4K, we have 5 dB. 8K, we at 1.2. We don't want to add too thin of a vocal. And 6K, we at 2.4. Okay, so let's get to the 2K so you can hear what that's doing. 4.5. Obviously, this has to be the good part of the vocal.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a Kool-Aid chill back, enjoy the day. Louisiana at the bottom of the boot where we like to get paid. All work even through the hottest day. Come and take a trip down south. Come and see what we all about. Ghost look.
That's to be the good part of the vocals, right? I added that much in now. 4K. Now we get into the good part, right? 5 dB.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a cool side.
I teach it. I just teach it. I don't lie to you. I teach, man.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade.
I can add 12 dB and still sound good. You know what I mean? But we don't want to overdo things. We're just EQing because we got a lot more plugins coming right after this one. So we'll put that 5 back in there. And 8K, we're getting a little good, but we don't want to add too thin of a vocal, so let me let y'all hear.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south.
See how thin and raspy that sound? That sometimes in R&B vocals, you can definitely hear that. And in R&B vocals, that works because you want to sound crisp and clean. You know what I'm saying? You want it just different. You know, I'm rapping. I'm not singing, so.
I'm outside.
We don't want all that brightness into it. But you definitely.
I'm outside.
Okay? So we'll bring that back down to 2. So if this was, we'll do that too. I don't know where it was. 2.4. If this 8K was high in brightness and in your piercing ears, what you think 16K gonna do?
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love.
Okay. But 16 sound good. You know what I mean?
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a Kool-Aid chill back, enjoy the day. Louisiana at the bottom of the boot where we like to get paid. All work even through the hot.
Boom. That's another form of EQ, and then what I do after I do that,
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a cool.
Back to 1.5, sounded good with the instrumental. Just know everything has to be played with the instrumental. Okay, so I turned that back down to 1.5. All right, it's another form of EQing. Don't get bent out of shape. You got this one. Where you can mess with all the bands and width and all that other good stuff. Got the one you can't see, you know. All you can do is just listen. What sounds good? What I'm going to take out? What can work? You know what I mean? And then I backdoor with the SL channel. I use this for everybody mix too. Everybody. Including myself, as you can see. It's the same thing. Same thing as the API. Same thing as the file filter. Just different sound it's going to give you, okay? On the EQ side, right here, took out low pass, low cut, took out some to 90 up there. Same thing. We can sweep. When I talked about sweeping, I did the same thing in API. You can sweep with this.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemon. I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a Kool-Aid chill back, enjoy the day. Louisiana at the bottom of the boot where we like to get paid. All work even through the hottest day. Come and take the.
Right there is where I think my vocals sound good, so I can bring that back down.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping
You know what I'm saying? Bring it back down to taste to where it works with the beat, okay? And the same thing, we can sweep.
I'm outside.
Turn it all the way up. If it hurts your ears, just turn your headphones down. But we turn it all the way up.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south.
That don't sound good to me. Let's turn this off. It might be too loud for y'all.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love a Kool-Aid chill back, enjoy the day. Louisiana at the bottom of the boot where we like to get paid.
Well, I think the vocals sound good at, so I'm going to add a little bit more in there. Same thing with the low frequency. You can find it. I got 0.9 in it because I wanted that bass to be back in there, okay? Simple. It's the same thing. All EQs is the same thing. You taking it, turning it all the way up till you possibly can't, till your ears can't take it no more. That's why mix engineers got to take breaks, because that's what you just have to do. Turn it up so you can see what sounds bad, you know? You can't actually see it in this. You have to listen to this plugin. You know what I mean? That's the part. That's the great part about mixing. You just have to listen. You can turn it up, sweep that band, boom, boom. Okay, bring that down. You can add a bell to it, put a little bell on it. That's up to you. It's another way of EQing those vocals. Showed you three. You got the file filter. No matter which EQ you use, if you got an EQ that looks like this, use it. It's the same way. If you got an EQ you can use multiple bands like this, great. Use it. Because you can do a lot of subtractive EQing with a lot of bands, okay? API, you only limited to what they give you. And that's all the way up to 16. That should, this EQ, if it's the only EQ you got, it should work just like that EQ, okay? You can subtract with this EQ. Backdoor SL, same thing. You can subtract with this EQ. Matter of fact, I see a lot of engineers on YouTube subtracting with this EQ and don't even add no flavor with this EQ. That's what they do, okay? And then last but not least, my last EQ, which don't really do too much, but right before the last compressor, I like to add an EQ right before it because let me get some of that good sheen back into it, because not only did I EQ it, I had the revival, I de-essed it before I got to this EQ. I added another EQ right here, and then I did my little bomber and revival, and then I come back with EQ right here. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of EQing, okay? Doing a lot of EQing, and not only just some subtracting EQing, I'm doing some adding EQ, additive EQ, and then compressing, okay? Because once you compress, you take out. And with the vocal rider I normally mix with now, in the C4, you're taking out a lot, okay? Same thing, I take out all the low, add a little low mids, 0.2, 0.5, this is a 0.02 dB, not even nothing going on with that. 0.5 dB and 0.35 dB. Normally it's a little more drastic, like this will be like 40. But in this mix, I guess that worked for me.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love our Kool-Aid chill back, enjoy the day. Louisiana.
Nothing too major about it, but it's there.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down.
And that's the part of EQing. Hopefully this will help you. Hopefully you understand that EQing is very simple. No matter what EQ you have, you can achieve the same goal, okay? Sweep, sweep, sweep. Listen, listen, listen. Bad, bad, bad. Take it out, out, out. Okay? Just hit your rhythm rhyme thing. Something like that.
I'm outside, yeah. Sipping lemonade in the shade down south where we love our Kool-Aid chill back, enjoy the day. Louisiana at the bottom of the boot where we like to get paid. All work even through the hottest day. Come and take a trip down south. Come and see what we all about. Gold slugs, long dreads, hollering we don't care. Put the S in the air, turn it down for what? Yeah, we all up in here. Outside, south side.
Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this tutorial has helped you. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps me grow tremendously. Any requests you have, leave them in the comments below. I will make a video on requests you have, because a lot of people don't know a lot of things. If I know it, I'm going to make a video on it. If I don't, I'll reply back to you and say, explain a little bit. Okay? That'll definitely help. Thank you for tuning in.